Hello everybody and welcome back to a little bit more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 this time. So this is going to be talking about the live stream that the devs just put out. This is going to be a quick kind of video. The devs video was about 2 hours long. I figured I can keep this under 20 minutes and you can learn just about everything that you need to know from the devs actual live stream. It's a pretty good live stream altogether. You give it a chance to look. Tobias did pretty good. Prokop did really well as well. And they gave a lot of tidbits here and there. And I got some more questions later on, but don't worry, we're going to get to that later on. Yeah, let's go and get this thing started. Woo!
Hey, lad. Are you alive, lad?
So you're wondering how they're actually going to de-level Henry? This is how they're actually going to do it. It seems like they finally shown it, which is essentially Henry gets, looks like shot in the shoulder with an arrow and also takes a fall or something like that. So essentially, he gets so injured he's going to lose all his points. At the beginning of the game, it sounds like you're going to be able to control a higher level Henry, kind of get used to the controls, and then all of a sudden he gets ambushed, and then he's going to be at a lower level. Now, you get to keep some of your skill levels, so you're not going completely to zero, but from the live stream, it seems that you're actually going to have a much higher skill cap. It used to be 20 in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. Now it's going to be up to 30 from I heard. And just as a reminder, you cannot import your old Henry from Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. You actually just get a standard Henry that gets put out. You do get to start out with some skills as shown up here. You have a lot of different skills that I put up here. And the one thing that's pretty interesting is that you actually have Houndmaster. It has been said that Mutt will make a return to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Also for returning characters, it seems that Pebbles is actually going to show up again. So your faithful horse from Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 should be in 2, but they were saying that it's like a hidden feature or might have to do some special things to get Pebbles. But it looks like you'd be able to upgrade Pebbles a little more to make it a more viable horse. But we'll see how that goes. You know, they kind of glossed over it for like 20 seconds of this whole live stream. So Pebbles is confirmed to be back. Not sure how he's going to come by. There are 6 combat skills that are actually showing up here. The most interesting part out of this, they're saying that unarmed is actually going to be pretty viable. It sounds like you can disarm people. And somebody mentioned that you can actually perform like a kill action. Pretty good stealth kill action with it. I'm kind of curious of how that works out. They didn't show that off in this trailer. But unarmed, I'm really interested. Now, you do start off with some good combat skills, evade, feint, and all that stuff. And they actually give you the little directions of what each one is by easy, side piece here. So instead of pressing Q, you can do that. The one thing that I'm really interested in is that if you get injured, do you actually keep a bandage around your shoulder, kind of like how they're showing Henry off like that? Or is that just for this one scenario? I'm not entirely certain, but we'll see how this works out. And of course, you can't have any major injury without actually having a flashback. So they have a really big flashback. Henry back in Skalitz, everything goes wrong, yada yada. Ooh, everybody's getting raided and everything else. So it's a big deal apparently, and Henry goes back to it. But the one thing that I'm actually curious is about this guy right here.
I come in the name of Sigismund of Luxembourg, King of Hungary and Croatia.
His voice sounds quite a bit different, don't you think? Listen to this.
I am Sir Markwart von Aulitz. I come in the name of Sigismund of Luxembourg, King of Hungary and Croatia.
I'm pretty sure that's a different voice actor altogether. So I was looking on there. I think it was Richard Zinman. That was the first one that played in the Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, but I can't tell if it's the same guy or a different guy, a new one.
Maybe it's not him. Then who is it?
People suggested that maybe he died, but Richard Simmons seems to be still alive. But anyways, we're going to have a new voice actor for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So we just have to say goodbye to the last one.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Alright, back to the main thing. Henry wakes up in some lady's house, gets saved by a herb woman, and Hounds gets saved too, yada yada yada. Henry's hungry, he gets nursed back to health, yada yada yada. You've seen this story before. It's the same thing with this Rattay Mill. It's just in a different place out here. So, perfectly fine. Different person and all that.
Slowly, lad. Slowly.
So what's the first thing that Henry does when he gets up? Of course he eats. And now what's different about this is you actually got a spoon animation. So you actually don't just go into loading animation and just eat the whole pot. You eat with a spoon. And also, it's kind of curious is that you can eat multiple times from the same pot and just keep going. I don't know if this pot's endless or you can only eat so much and you have to eat more times of the same animation. They didn't go into this, and I didn't check the stats off that, but that's something to be aware of. Looks like you can eat more off the same pot. But closely related to the same topic, it seems that now with chickens, they kind of run away with you and they get this weird animation, and I absolutely love it. So they don't stand around and just get hit, but you can kill chickens like in the old game. But it seems this time, killing people's chickens can actually cause a problem. But what's even better now is that you can actually cook them, and they actually have decent stats, nourishment. Like in the other game, they didn't really give you health or any good nourishment. It looks like they buffed the stats here. But it looks like now Henry can cook and actually have a little bit more recipes, so maybe the food's a little bit more viable, but I'm still on the alcohol train.
Don't just stand there, lad. Pour us a drink.
Someone give him a drink.
I'll drink to that. I'll drink to that.
But the main thing is that chicken is now, killing chickens seem to be a crime here, so sort of a big change. But Chef Henry's back in the kitchen, and he can cook, and the stats get a little bit better, so maybe cooking's viable. We'll see. And also they introduced something else that's going to be a mainstay in the game, it looks like. It's now Henry can actually pray. This was in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 in the woman's lot with Yonka's quest that you had to do. It only showed up once that you actually prayed like this. But it seems now they mentioned that in the scholarship perk, you can actually gain stats by praying or gain certain other features too. So it looks like praying will be more prevalent in this game, so makes sense. Henry's a God-fearing Christian, so why not? So it should be interesting to see what they go through in this game, but you know, praying's in the game. And what we're talking about next is that you see on the table, it's weak savior snobs. Now, you'd be like wondering, what the heck is a weak savior snobs? Well, apparently now is that there are different levels of potions you can actually make in the game. So it's just not weak. There seems to be normal, and they're probably strong. They didn't say specifically, but just looking at that there's weak potions, you can probably make stronger ones that probably have different effects, longer effects, or better effects. So we'll see how that goes. I have no idea what a weak savior snop does compared to a normal one. Maybe it's something that you get more saves out of it. So as you can see, the alchemy looks pretty good. They kind of did a nice update to it. They said they kind of made it, you know, the animation's a little shorter, but you know, they kind of remind me of Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 animation time. They're roughly the same. You know, the book looks a lot nicer and all that. What I really do like is that you actually can take this book with you. So you have the codex on you at all times, so you can see what the recipes are. You don't have to go to an alchemy bench. You could just look up in your own book and just be like, oh, I need this, this, and this to make this potion. That's kind of awesome. So, you know what? Alchemy is alchemy, and they didn't really talk too much about it other than, you know, how much it looks nice and all that. So do what you want with it, but the thing I do like is that you can brew multiple potions at once. That's a good part there. And it looks like flower picking is still around, so you'll be able to gather all your herbs and everything else you need. I don't know if there's a leg day perk. I didn't see that, but I can't imagine them taking that away. They did mention that there are still hidden perks in the game, so you can still get the resistance perk, which gives you that +2 vitality for picking nettle. They didn't say it was specifically in the game still. Well, they sort of did, but you know, it's kind of implied. But they also mentioned that there's also a lot more hidden perks in the game too. So we should be able to expect to see some more hidden perks that you can get throughout the game if you just mess around a little bit here and there, doing some clever things. So that would be exciting to see. And here's what we really want to see is the map that they're showing off. This is the map of the Trotsky region. It's pretty big for the most part, so it's mostly countryside, kind of a different biome than you see in the Gutenberg area, so that's pretty good to see. But if you want to see kind of comparison, somebody on Reddit kind of did the two map overlays of the Gutenberg and the other one. I don't know how much they make sense, but you feel you kind of just get this frame of reference there. It's a pretty big map still overall, so this is going to be exciting. But the really exciting part is that they actually told us that swimming is not in the game this time. Well, sort of. They said that in one quest early on, you're seeing a cutscene that Henry tries to swim and it goes wrong, so he doesn't want to swim again. But apparently in another quest later on, Henry's going to get really drunk and try to swim. So sort of in the game and sort of not. So that's the exciting part. The other one that's sort of making rounds is, of course, the photo mode that they're adding into the game. So usually when you see these type of photo modes, this is really remind me of like what NVIDIA does with their own card. You can actually do the exact same thing. But they said with this camera is that you can only go so far. It's kind of attached into certain areas. It's a physical camera, so you can't go through walls or anything else like that. And they actually have something else unique too, is that when you actually exit out of this photo mode, Henry's gonna say something. He's gonna say like, oh, what a view, or he's gonna shout something else. And the main reason they do this is so you can't just sneak around, use this camera, they look around corners or anything else, and try to be sneaky. The part is that Henry's gonna say stuff, it's gonna alert all the NPCs nearby, and they're gonna come running towards it. I'm thinking about this could be some fun, using and abusing this camera. We'll see how this works out. The other thing that's interesting they pointed out is that if you see in the distance, it's kind of hard to see, it kind of only shows up for a little second, is that there's birds at the end of the very top. And what he was saying is that over there at the end is that usually you can those birds over and flying over area signifies special places to go to. So keep an eye on the sky, that might be well worth looking at. The other thing that I really start to enjoy is Tobias is, I think me and him have the same frame of mind. In the game, you're allowed to throw rocks, but apparently they're not just used for sneaking. You can actually throw rocks at creatures and people and everything else, and doesn't seem to have a limit on rocks. So what they were saying in the game too is that you can actually throw rocks at NPCs, and you can actually get charged for crimes with it too. So we're gonna have some fun with rocks. This is gonna be awesome to actually do. So I can't wait to abuse that system. So one of my favorite things to do is messing with the physics of the game, and it looks like Tobias also had the fun too. It's like kicking the body like that. I think that's everybody's favorite thing to do. You can see like the game is still lovely on that. So he's able to bury the guy upside down. Fantastic. Why not? This is absolutely great. So that is a great part there. So I'm excited to see that the physics of the Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 is still in the second game, maybe a little bit more refined, but who knows. And also, kind of the system is still in part. So you can see here, this is actually turns out pretty good.
Evil Toby. And there's our...
And Hans can go in his life.
Hooray!
Henry, come and
It's your murder! Murder!
Yeah.
Yeah, so the game still has the classic, oh no, you murdered someone. I think he killed a chicken, or either he killed a person and she's still freaking out by that because of the bandits, but you know what? I absolutely love it. I love when NPCs go crazy like that. But rushing this along, as you can see on people's items that you have here, you can see that there's different quality of items that you have, hoods, you know, pants and all that stuff. You can see that there's silver, they have a bronze. And what he was talking about here is that the tailor kits or any other repair kits that you're going to have is that they're saying that the repair kits use more of their quality based on how much the item's worth. If it's more expensive, then you need more of the tailor kit to repair it. So this is something to keep in mind. If you have something really expensive, it's probably going to take a lot of repair kits to use it, or it's better just to go to a shop. Yeah, the other thing that they mentioned too that I thought was pretty unique, they said that people can actually smell you when you're stealthing, kind of deal. So if you're really dirty and you're walking around, people can actually smell you, and that's an issue. So I thought that was pretty funny to see. So taking a bath is now more than ever required, so you don't get caught because you smell like terrible. I don't know if this is a great ploy by Warhorse where they're like, hey, take a shower and use our soap. Who knows? That might be something on there. And one other thing I was thinking about that didn't really get put out at the time was that people in the chat were asking the devs if you could actually wear a hood on your head. Kind of like what you see right here, Griff Gaming, he actually shows this. I kind of got the clip from them. He has a mod where you can actually put the hood up, kind of thing. The actual hood onto your head, which they were trying to say, like, please, can we actually do this? And the devs are thinking that it was more like the visor hood's up, and that's not quite what they were asking. So the devs didn't really answer this, but I'm hoping that maybe they can answer this next time on when they do another live stream. That'd be interesting. But currently right now we don't have an answer on that. It would be really interesting because I think the dressability of putting your hood up works out, but I think sometimes just how the animation and clipping works out, that's probably why they don't want to do that, maybe. Oh, the other thing they talked about that was really unique, they didn't really show it off because they couldn't. They said if you get really drunk during the game, you can actually lose some items, like other people will steal them, which was in the first game too, I believe. It never happened to me, but what they also says that people would actually take your items and actually wear them, which I find hilarious. And also I really do hope that this is sort of a thing where people can actually wear other items if you drop them or you give them to them or something like that by some unique things. In Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, you couldn't dress up NPCs, so this might be a workaround, some way that maybe they're allowing people to actually wear other items other than their base peasant clothes. So I am excited to see that. But I think that is all that I have for right now. There is nothing too much else that I could see. There was a pretty good live stream, so basically take a look at it if you got some time. If not, this is kind of the quick, under 20-minute rundown, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to more of their live streams, because honestly they're pretty good and they tell a lot of information, and you know what, it's gonna be a great game. So it's gonna come out in February, so I hope you see you then, and until then, enjoy this, and I'll see you all later. Have a good one, and goodbye.